Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Donald Moore, and today I will give you an ideal example of how to do a cross-section. But first, let me give you a little introduction about who I am. I started off at the post office, lifting those heavy sacks inside constantly every day for 7 years. I got kind of heavy. So pretty soon I said, I think I'm going to go back to school. So in 2016, I went to Santa Ana Junior College and got me an engineering AA degree. I started working in the semiconductor field at various companies. Pretty soon I got a real good company, and they told me if I wanted to advance, I needed to get an engineering degree. I said I had a AA. They said, no, a bachelor's. So I went out and got my bachelor's degree in 2019, American Military University. After that, I stayed in semiconductor for a while. Then I went to automotive. Now I'm in automotive, and it's real good. I'm a failure analysis engineer and trying to better myself in different areas. So here's a fun fact. Anybody who owns a hybrid, raise your hand. So if you know how the braking system works, put your hands down. I see we have one person with their hands still up. One lucky guy. So here's how that works. Starts off from the brakes up to the generator, to the power converter, to the battery. The more you step on that brake, the more you generate power from the generator. The generator converts it to electric, stores it in the battery. So you can imagine in heavy traffic, you're always on your brake, constantly using this system, and your battery is building up power. Your gas is not being used, only your electricity. But it's still building up while it's being used, so it's a trade-off. And you're not using that much gas. I think you can go from Los Angeles to Las Vegas on a full tank. I should know, I have a hybrid. So with that in mind, this is how today's agenda goes. I have a circuit board I'm going to cut. I have a resonant hardener I'm going to put that part into. I'm going to grind that part down to a specific location. Then I will polish it. Then I'll have questions and answers. Also, a technique that we use is 3 simple techniques. Do less structural damage as you can when you're cutting apart. That means your speed of your equipment, you want it at the right speed. You don't want to get hung up. You want to stay a distance away from the part because you don't want to accidentally cut your part. That might be the only one you have. Like in my case, when I get a part, it's the only one I have, and I can't be destroying all the evidence that I have. And next, if you have to, you use a handsaw. It never fails. But here's my Isomet 1000. We just got it. It works good because I was using the hacksaw previously. And it cuts the circuit board real nice. And here I have identified a part that I'm going to try to cut out. So I have a brief video. There's my part. My saw is running at about 200. I have both hands on it. I'm sorry that you can't see, but if I take one hand off, then if that part fly away and I'm at work, I'm in trouble. So I better keep both hands on my part. And after I cut one side off, I'll cut the other side. And it should be good enough to fit off into the next step that we'll have to perform. So here you can hear that clump. That means my saw is either dull or I'm going too slow. So after I cut this part out, I will raise it up and see if that works. So I raised it up 50, and it cut real smooth this time. You won't hear any thump, and I've got down to the part size that I need. And that size fits perfectly into the cup. So here's the finished part. And next, I'll show you how to put it in the cup. So here's my little cold mount part. We have a cup. They come in all different shapes and sizes, colors. The part of interest, we put it down, face down, and we want to put a resin around the edges inside of the cup so your material won't get stuck to the cup. And our resin is a 50 to 6, really 25 to 3, but my cup size is 40 grams. And so I want 50 grams, so I have a little left over. I don't want to use 25 and then I have to come back and make another 25. That is wasting company time. So here is, we have the mixture, we put it in our little cup, and they call it degassing. We'll degas for 2 to 3 minutes. It may take 2 or 3 times to do this part, but after the 2 or 3 times, we want to pour it in our little cup. And if the cup still shows a certain amount of bubbles, we want to get those bubbles out, because it could interfere when we take our pictures of the specimen. And so we would have to put it in their cup again, and we would do that 2 or 3 minutes. So when we get finished, it should look like this. This is a 12-hour cure, and now you're ready to grind and polish. So here's the 2 grinding and polish wheels that we have. One is the Ecomet 30 and the Tegra 20. Come from Brewers and Strewers. They cut pretty good and they're real expensive. A lot of maintenance work on it because they get clogged up from all the waste that goes through them. So here's my little polish video, or grinding video. As you notice, I'm turning it 45 degrees every so, because that's to keep it level all the way around. If you just keep it in one angle, you tend to have a shape that you don't want. You want to keep it nice and round all the way around. So after doing this for maybe 360 degrees, maybe twice, I'll check my specimen, see if it's close. The closer I get, the less sandpaper type I use. So right now, I did it one more time just to see get a little closer. Now I think I'm done. So here's the sandpaper that I was referring to. We have 120, then we go to 320, then we go to 800, all around to 4,000. When we get to the 4,000 grit, we've completed our assignment. It's time to start polishing. But in between each sandpaper, we wash the part. We put it in an ultrasonic bath and let it sit there for 30 seconds between each part. So this whole process, one sample could take you a whole day sometimes. I try to get 3 out in a day. I want to be pretty fast. So next we go to our polishing video. And it's a whole lot different than the grinding video. As you notice, last time I was going clockwise. Now I'm going counterclockwise. I would spray my oil on it, then I would go clockwise, while the grinder is going counterclockwise. And each cloth, I would go maybe 1 minute. through 6 cloths. Once I finish this, I go to the aluminum and I'm done. While I'm still washing between cloth. When you get finished, you will have a nice part ready to go to the microscope. So here are the 5 cloths that we use. We start with 6 micron as a diamond polish. And we use about 8 to 10 microns from the part when we polish them. So when I get through with each cloth, I have to bag. So you see I go from 6, 3, to 1, to 5, 0.5, 0.5. And you see there's 2 3s. Sometimes we have a different part and we need a stronger cloth, has more fibers in it. So we'll go to another type of 3 microns. And pretty soon we're done with all these and we're ready to go to the microscope. And when I say ready to go to the microscope, our part will look something like this. And all the features are there for you to view, and you can see them just as great. No scratches or anything in there. So you have any questions that I could possibly answer for you? If you think of anything, you can email me at donaldmore.something.com. Nice talking to you guys. Part 2 will be coming up in the future. Thank you.